how to relieve sciatic pain. If you are suffering with sciatica for the first time, then you have probably found this video. Well, luck is in. I'm going to show you what I do with my clients every single day who are suffering with sciatica. It can be severely debilitating and it can be pain going from your back all the way into your buttock, all the way down the leg, causing pins and needles, numbness, tingling in the toes. If you are struggling with this, stay tuned. I'm going to show you exactly what we need to do. I'm Dr. Jeremy Andrews, Doctor of Chiropractic here at West Chiropractic. Okay, so the first stretch that I'll be doing is to get on all fours like this. On the floor is good. You can do it in bed. I prefer to be on the floor because it's a nice hard surface. You can see I'm on a bench here just for viewing purposes though. So on all fours like this. Now you want to try and get your leg, the involved leg, if you can, up into what they call a pigeon pose. So if you can, take this leg here, try and get it across your body, and you just want to try and sit down like this. Now, in yoga, they would sit all the way back like that and really push into that glute. You don't want to do that because you've got sciatic pain. You may have a disc problem as well, so you really need to take it nice and easy. So getting into this position here is going to really help take a lot of pressure off that sciatic nerve. It's going to help to alleviate piriformis tension, glute med tension, and glute max tension, which is what the sciatic nerve goes through and can also cause problems with that. So you can rock from side to side, you can move around like this. It's going to create a lot of ease through that area. So yeah, you see the leg coming across like this, just from a different angle. Now, don't try and get the leg all the way up. You might even only be able to get the leg sort of like this, with the foot sort of pointing down this way. That's absolutely fine. But if you can, try and get it completely 90 degrees like this, and then you're trying to keep the hips nice and square, and you can sit back like that. Take a lot of pressure off. Okay, so that's more an advanced movement, and you're not gonna be able to do this. If you pulled your back and you're getting sciatic pain, you're never gonna be able to do this straight away. You may need a bit of time just to relax, take some pressure off before you start getting to this fully. So if you can't do that, I would do the threading the needle. So lying on your back, getting the involved leg. So the involved leg will be my right leg here, allowing that to push back like this. This would be the start here. So if you can't get into that pigeon movement, I would definitely start with this. So this might be useful if you just pulled your back. Imagine you were putting something in the dishwasher or putting your socks on, you pulled your back and you're getting shooting pain down the leg. You're lying on your back, you're thinking, how can I get up? How can I get up? Moving the back from side to side. You can get your leg up like this, opening up the hip and then closing the hip like this. Opening and then closing. And if you're feeling really brave, put the hands through the legs and try and pull in like this. And you're gonna really feel that stretch down the glute. Don't bring your neck up too much, it's gonna cause neck problems. Just take it nice and slowly through here. And you can rock from side to side, really getting some nice movement through that glute muscle. Yeah, so then you can open the hip up and then close it like this, move it across. If you're feeling really brave, hands come through here, yeah? So one hand through the hole, one hand on the outside of the leg, and pulling through like this. So pull and pull. Okay, so those are the two movements that I start with. So I showed you the pigeon stretch there. Now that is an advanced movement. Even in your yoga and Pilates, people don't drop into that just for a warm up. So you might want to do the second one first. Just opening the hip up, closing the hip up, taking pressure off the base of the hip to allow that sciatic nerve just to kind of floss through, and taking pressure off your leg as well. The first stretch, obviously with the threading the needle, when you're pulling the legs up, is going to really increase the stretch around the glute muscle. If any of these stretches actually increase the amount of pain you're getting down your leg, then you need to think about stopping them. Don't do any more. Seek professional advice either from a GP or come and see someone like myself, and we can do a full examination, x-rays, and find out exactly what is causing the sciatic pain. Sciatica can be caused by a number of things. The most common one that we see as chiropractors is a slipped disc or a disc prolapse, where the disc actually comes out the back and it presses on the sciatic nerve, which then goes down the back of the leg. Often you can also see where there's instability in the pelvis or in the vertebra. They can then press on the sciatic nerve as well. And then thirdly, muscle tension. So piriformis or glute tension causing compression around the sciatic nerve will also cause that as well. So let me show you what happens. Well, this is the vertebra here. So if you see, it's a section of your spine. The white bits are the bones. These bits you see on the back here, those are those knobbly bits you feel through your spine. The yellow things here, those are the nerves. And then the red thing, that is your disc. So the red thing, imagine that as like a jam donut. So if you see what happens here, if I show you if there's any compression through the vertebra, let's try and get this bit here so you can see properly. Can you see that it pops out like that? And it's going to press on the nerve. So the disc pops out, presses through the nerve, and that's going to cause sciatic pain. Okay. Now what you might get before the disc completely bulges like that is just a little bulge here. So you can see that just starting to come out. And then it might one day bend down Pick up some Susan socks. There's too much tension around the actual disc itself and what we call the outer layer. They started to fissure and they started to scar up, and you're getting like less tension around the outer section of the disc. The jam in the middle, this just starts to burst out, and then what happens is you get a disc prolapse, and that's going to press on the nerve. That is easy to diagnose from an MRI. The MRI, you can see very clearly this material coming out and pressing on the nerve, causing those problems. So getting pressure off the nerve is key to alleviate sciatica. But to start with, relieving sciatica, those top two things, get yourself in a position where you can move your hip around, getting flexibility, mobility, allowing the nerve to breathe, and getting pressure off there. So second thing is then how do you keep sciatica gone? Well, we've got to increase that core stability. So you don't want to start increasing strength when you're in pain, because what that will do is put tension around your core, tension around your back, and that can cause more problems in the long run. So you need to make sure we're building up to it very slowly. So the top two things that I love to increase my core stability, I will show you now. So first one for me is going to be the plank. I love the plank so much. You've seen me do it before, but I think it's one of the best exercises you can do to increase core support. So I literally do it like this, on all fours, on my elbows. And the key thing for me is I sit my heels back. So I'm not too far forwards like this, not this. I'm back like this, and I'm squeezing my bum. Squeezing the bum activates the lower abdominals, activates something called the transverse abdominis, which is going to wrap all the way around the core. So everything through here, if you think of those belt braces that we talk about, the back braces, the belt brace, wrap around there and they act as a support. There's a muscle that does that for you called the transverse abdominis, and that's going to help to take pressure off the base of the spine, keep that in the best position long term. So really, really important within that plank. 30 seconds is good. Remember, if you're still having sciatic pain, don't do that. Go back to the other stretches I showed you beforehand. Go back to threading the needle, go back to the pigeon stretch, try and get deeper, try and get more movement, take as much pressure off that nerve before you get into start building things up. We've got to strip it all back, let it settle down, and then we build up from scratch. Other one I love, dead bug. So on your back like this, head neutral, core tight, legs at 90 degrees like this, and then feet, knees at 90 degrees as well. And what you want to do is you've got a small in your back here where there's going to be a curve. You want to reduce that curve. So if you see here, curve, push back like that, activate your core. Curve like this, push back, activate that core, and then very slowly drop down to here. Now at this point, you're going to want to do this. Don't do that. Keep it nice and on, and then coming back to here. Same on the other side, and then coming back to here. So really slow. So 5 seconds down, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You see it's hard. Shaking in my voice is a hard exercise to do. If you can't go all that way, just go to here, 2, come back, 1, 2, come back. It's going to be enough to build a lot of tension in your core and not having to do a sit up or a crunch and compromising your lower back. Doing that is going to put more pressure on your discs. We want to try and avoid that flexion where we can. So with the plank, 30 seconds. Dead bug, try and do 3 to 5 each side. 5 seconds each. So that's going to take you a bit of time. Just start off with 2 and then gradually get into it. So if you know someone at home who is suffering with sciatica, please share this video with them. Like the video and then subscribe to the channel for further updates. We're getting 2 videos out every single week, so make sure you subscribe and you get notified when they come out. You can also grab a copy of my best-selling book, The Secret Cure to Back Pain, How to Avoid a Lifetime of Painkillers and Surgery, and I'll pop a link in the show notes below. Thanks so much.